All right, welcome in. All right, let's get this going. Yeah, basically on this camera, sometimes I think it has to record. Otherwise, if it's on standby after a certain period of time, it defaults to this sort of Sony screensaver. So thank you guys for dropping in. We got VZA in the house. We got proper artists here. We've got Wildstorm CCG. We got SMC Carti. He's down in Brazil, hanging out with his fiance slash wife. I don't know if he got married. They were close. Uh, Wife, yes. Congrats on that. If you need us to come in and rescue you, just blink twice. We will send a task force. We do have a mod in the house, Crispy Egg Roll. We got Superhero Swimmer Art. Great stream yesterday. We got our unofficial mod, Poop Kid. I think Poop Kid was playing Fortnite with my 5-year-old and 7-year-old last night. I think they were saying like PK, like they were following him around on the Fortnite map. Like this is like Jackson, who's 5. He's actually pretty adept at it. River's just starting out, so she's got like her hands on one, like she's got her hands over here, and then if she hits R, she'll like reload, do that, and then she'll. It's super cute to watch. I'm kind of glad she doesn't know how to play too well just now. Anyway, all right, let's. This is the final piece. I do need to finish it, so I am. It's just a pass. All I know is that as I go from left to right, it's just the final stuff I need to do, and so that's mostly detail work. I can kind of do that half awake. In that all the core shadows are done, the structure is done. This is all about detail and making sure you don't put too much, finding just that kind of right level. And I'm gonna actually go. I'm gonna go from the ground up because it's gonna be the heaviest here, and then lighten up as I kind of get up. So let's start down here. It's 420. All right, here we go. Stuff like that. Mine's kind of breaking up, and the colors will kind of come in and figure out what to do with that. I'm not so sure. It represents some sort of swampy, mm, gassy thing. Hope all of you guys had a good Mother's Day. As I noted before, there are. I think the UK already celebrated theirs. France celebrates at the end of this month, and obviously we celebrated now. We went out and celebrated. My wife was not feeling well, so it was good for her to get out and actually eat something. Bo Bradshaw is healthy again. That's good. Good to know. What's up with Renelephant? We got another mod in the house. Got Renelephant. Hey Kangarbanger. Hey KB Bradshaw. I love how you just hope the colors figures out your piece. Yeah, that's the fun of it. I don't, the old days, I put an Instagram post where I was, it's a double page spread from an issue of X Men. And I'm like, please color these ninjas blood red. Do not color them purple. Do not. Do not forsake me. Do not. Pantone color 7582. Please, por favor. No, I don't do that anymore. It's rare I give color notes, but then sometimes I get stuff and I go like, "Wow, that was definitely not what I imagined it to be. Can you do this?" But that's rare. It's rare. Same with inking. I used to give a lot of like ink notes. I just kind of pass it on now. I've been working with these people longer than I've been married to any individual. So, excuse me, sneeze. All right. Sorry about that. Ink One's in the house. Hello, Ink One. Wisemir. Honestly, Jim, I'm going to bed now. Have a good night. Hey, Nova Prime XX. Mark L. Messi has resub for 9 months. Thanks for the stream, Jim. Would like to see some Golden Age character designs reimagined by you at some point. Yeah, that would be kind of fun to do, actually, for a stream. Sketchy Mick Sketchington has cheered. Thank you very much for the generous bits. Nova Prime X, how do you feel about the R. Sound Batman the animated series? That's beautiful. Bruce Timm really set the bar high with that. Queen City Amusements has also subbed. Stone Cold Snake 316 has cheered. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you. Spider-Man 1963 has resubbed for 15 months. It's been a good 15 months too. Good to know. Good to hear. Dave CF Prez has subbed. And yeah. Gadsdef has resubbed for 18 months in a row. Thank you guys for your support. I do appreciate it. Real General Pancakes. Love that name. Very clever. All right. Let me do one thing here. All right. I turned off the host just because we just get these random host messages. It kind of will block out, hopefully, those messages. It might block out the ones that bring in a large number, but it's pretty rare. It's all good. Joe Wills Art. St. Louis misses you. I miss St. Louis. It's a lot of fun there. All right, let's keep moving with this here. The trick to adding this kind of detail is all about making it look less like a blobby blob of ink put down by a brush and make it look like something that was intentionally put down in that shape and size and location. And you hide that fact by adding other little things around it, little satellite blobs. Does that make sense? I've tried to describe this process a number of different ways. It's hard to really, like, this is all freehand done with a brush, just kind of laying it to the side. It would create random sort of Rorschachian shapes. But then I'll go in with a marker and kind of tease out edges, corners, straighten up some of the stuff, make it kind of hard edged, drop little dits like this in there. And again, it's all about adding some direction or some, what's the word I'm looking for? It's about adding intentionality, if that's even a word, to spontaneity. Like if I make it all spontaneous, it has energy, has good flow. If I made it all really super tight and intentional, it doesn't look organic. And so if it's super loose, you go like, oh, he used a brush on that. If it's super tight, you go, oh, he used a ruler or he used a marker on that. If you combine the two, you get that level of detail, spontaneity, and intentionality. I don't know why it's important, but it's just something that these intentional lines kind of hide the spontaneous ones. right? So sometimes you throw in this blob, and it looks like a blob, and you know that this was done with a brush because it slightly goes over that finished line there. So just even cleaning it up like that makes it look like, oh, was there a line there? I filled in the shape. Was it an intentional shape or was it an accidental shape? I don't know how many times I can express the same thought over and over again. I don't know if it makes any sense. Does it make sense to you guys? Nope. All right, mighty muted meta. Nope. I say, oh, he uses his hand. Yep, 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 yep. Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. It does. No, crispy egg roll. Studio JH, thank you for streaming and chatting with us. Since probably you could have finished this peach much early. Yeah, I could have finished this. There were a number of times where I was like, I should just finish it. But I do know that if there are people looking for long form videos and go like, okay, here's a cover from scratch, from the very, very beginning to the very, very end. Because some decisions I do like to make in private, like the final finishing touches. I feel like those are best done like mentally kind of in your own head, where you don't even necessarily, you're just kind of relying on your own kind of stylistic instinct and less and not as much on something that you can articulate. So even as I do all this, it's just about kind of completing it so you don't know those are random blobs on the side of a brush. And I do that, but basically creating that transition from full blobs to dots. And then with this, I know that I really like this contrast. So I probably won't go dark there, or should I go dark? I could go to a medium gray and it still would have a difference. I don't know. Think about it. So with these lines, you can see I'm just kind of completing the edges. Just creates a little more of a three-dimensional feel to it. Thank you very much, Arian, Original Sketch, and those two for subbing. Well, with the Funker, Je suis désolé. Yes, me too. Seeing the process makes me realize there's not much difference how I lay down oils with dark colors first. Yeah, it's a mix of the two, right? Back and forth. React to the art that you put down. SM Cardi 313. Hey guys, gotta run. Have a good rest of the stream. See you guys later. Wait, he's on his honeymoon? That's true dedication right there. Just taking a breather. He said he was playing cards. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's code for something. Young kids. Yeah. Crispy. Yeah, no, there are a lot of people that kind of delay their honeymoon for a year or even more. Like they take a week off for the wedding and they can't take another week or 10 days off or they don't have the financial resources to kind of, spend all the money on a wedding and then also go and blow it on travel. So we'll kind of do it to recharge. Also, weddings can be very stressful, so the idea of kind of taking a break. But I'd say that's not as many people. So I have essentially two kind of rendering styles. So I'll do a flat line like this, and then a cross stroke like that, and that's all relatively flat. And then I'll do like dits, which are like little, very sharp triangles where they are fat at the bottom, kind of peek out. Again, it's all to taste. I don't have a system where I go like, okay, here it's got to be big arrows, and here it's got to be like a crosshatch, or big diamonds, or big pyramids. Who's all excited for Game of Thrones? That's gonna be exciting, right? Although I was reading some stuff online, I read a post by a quote unquote fan. It made my stomach turn. Nova Prime X. I've never seen a single episode. Well, you're gonna be bored for the next 10 minutes. That's all I know. Okay. The post I read was, "You guys have enough money. You should reshoot the last season, or you should redo the last season." I'm like, don't worry, there are no spoilers. Oh my god. I'm like, people are just, and I don't mean this of you guys. I'm saying fandom, and I'm a fan of Game of Thrones. I'm a fan of The Bachelor. I'm a fan of a lot of things. Survivor. Fandom just that's gotten out of control, and I'm part of fandom. But I feel like people to my left and to my right, they're out of control, man. I mean, and I know they were being serious. That was the scary part of it. Yeah, it was just crazy. Anyway, I won't go into any more because if I do, then there will be spoilers, I think. But I would say if the people are not happy with how it's going so far, just stop watching. Don't torture yourself. And I'm not saying you can't not like it, and you can watch that last episode and go like, oh, I didn't quite like how they resolved this, or I thought the character development of this or this plot line didn't really pay off for me. But to go like they should redo it, like I'm like, wow, so disrespectful. What's the word you guys use? Toxic. I hate that word. All right, I'm just messing around with this stuff. I don't even know why some of his fingers are so long. Why his fingers are long and his thumb is regular. Yeah, I asked the millennials, please come up with some new words to describe things you don't like. Help me out. All right. What else can we talk about? Yes, KB Bradshaw. Yes, that's what exactly what I was thinking. I was like, hmm. I think there's a difference between what knowing or sensing when people are kind of half-assing something and being disappointed, and when they're really trying and maybe it's not quite working for you creatively. And not that there's any guidebook, but I will say if you're into baseball, anyone into baseball in chat? DMS design, yes. Mighty Moody Meta. Mason is. Mason's not into baseball. Does anyone know what city is considered to have some of the best baseball fans in the world? Anyone? Tokyo. Tokyo's not a bad answer. Chicago. No, definitely not. No, not Boston. Definitely not San Diego. New York? No. St. Louis. There you go. There you go. St. Louis. St. Louis. Come on, Google it. You'll see. And I'm not saying like the best fans, like in terms of supporting their home team, which they do, but and sure, you will find crazy passionate fans in Chicago and Boston and New York. But I think what I've heard about St. Louis, and this is not prejudiced by the fact that I grew up in St. Louis, but I do remember that they say the St. Louis fans are the best fans of baseball because they know the game, so they understand what they're cheering and not cheering about, right? So they understand what it is that they're reacting to, and they're also very supportive and complimentary, and will applaud the other team when they make good plays. Like they understand the sport, they understand the way it should be played, and they appreciate good play, even if it's not from the team that they're rooting for. I don't know if there's a book on being a fan. If anyone's written fandom for dummies or anything like that, but it wouldn't hurt if there was such a book. It wouldn't hurt. Could analyze kind of the roots of fandom, where it came about, when it became toxic, how different generations of fans impacted and affected the art, how the internet affected fandom, people's expectations of what creators, their responsibilities, and the fans sort of role in it. I feel like this could be a thesis paper. And the same way you can teach someone behavior. I don't know. I don't want to get too much off on a rant. But think about fandom and comics, how it kind of grew. So the first wave of creators, really, they were embarrassed to be working on comics. Even Stan Lee, his last name Stan Lee, well, his name was Stan Lieber, and his brother Larry Lieber. Larry Lieber kept his name, but Stan Lieber used in comics the name, the pseudonym, the nom de plume, Stan Lee, because he wanted to save Stan Lieber for the great American novel that he was going to write. And they didn't realize that this stuff was going to be worth any money in the future. They didn't realize there was going to be generations of. I mean, they just thought it was cheap work. It didn't pay a whole lot compared to other illustration work, and so a lot of artists back in the day, creators, writers, and artists, used pseudonyms to kind of hide behind. And it wasn't until the next generation of fans came through the ranks and they love these stories. They love these characters, and they didn't see it as disposable. And they didn't want. They wanted the attention. And that second generation of fans, from Roy Thomas to um, Marv Wolfman and Len Wein, you know, they took the mythology, and you could tell if you look at that first gen of creation. A lot of times they were just kind of, all right, we every this month gorillas are popular. We're going to put gorillas in all the books. Let's make up gorillas. What's Barbara Gordon's mother's name? It's also Barbara Gordon. You know, it's just. I'm not saying they were being lazy, because that would be being a bad fan, but I just don't think they were catering to the kids, and I just think it was like whatever they could think of that moment, they put it out. I could be wrong. This is just based on my kind of understanding of comics history. I've not had any deep discussions with any of these people. I have read articles, but anyway, so that second generation took it a lot more seriously, and it was their fandom that really made them want to work in the business. And it wasn't about the pay. It wasn't about, well, maybe it was the prestige, but I think it was more that they were fans. And so that second wave of creators, that first wave was doing it for the paycheck and not worried about the future. The second wave, they got paid too, but not a whole lot more. But they were there because they were fans of the material, and they wanted to add to the mythology. You know, they saw it as something that was worth keeping around, right? Collectability starts happening. I think I'm in like generation 3 in terms of fandom. But then it all starts to turn, I think, when the internet, certainly pre-internet, um, the only way you could tell if you were doing a good job writing a story or drawing a story. Um, just tell me if this is super boring too. I can switch topics. I'm not even looking up. Charlie Parks has resub. Thank you very much. Outhouse cartoons. Oh, I thought I turned that. I just want to turn off the stupid hosting alerts. Why is it not doing that for me? Keep saving it. I'll have to deal with it later. Anyway, excuse me. Why is the text box just down here? There's a lot of stuff going on. Makes no sense. Oh, maybe it's better down there. Never mind. All right. Blauk has cheered. Thank you very much. Thanks for the share and the stream. Appreciate it. Yeah. So where does that leave me with this? Yeah. So before the internet, the only way you could tell is if you were doing a good job. I guess you could base it on the letters. So letters, the common belief was that each letter writer represented 100 other points of view, similar points of view that couldn't be bothered to send in the same sentiment. How they came up with that ratio, I don't know. It sounds completely made up to me. I think the more important point is that if someone writes a letter, other people share that thought. So you want to amplify that idea, right? That number from just being one. But the other way you could tell if you're doing a good job, there's two other ways. One, it would be the sales of your book. The sales would go up, right? And then the last way is that if you start going to comic book conventions, you can see the people that lined up for you. And generally, though, those went hand in hand. Your sales and the number of people that kind of lined up for you, I would say, would be fairly aligned. Unless you had like a cult book that had a cult following. So it might have a strong, like, 50,000 copies back in the day. That was like when I started on Alpha Flight, the sales were like 120,000 copies a month, and that was a low selling book for Marvel. Mind you, during the Image days, we had books that sold 120,000 copies, and we canceled them because the sales were so low. We did that. Our animated Wildcats cartoon book was selling about 120,000 copies, so we canceled it. Anyway, well, they're a lot cheaper back then. So if you 120,000 times a buck 50, what is that? 180,000 gross revenue. If it's a $4 comic today, that would be 45,000 copies. So that's the equivalent. If you're talking just dollars to dollars, right? So, where was I going with this? Oh, so, and I've said this at panels before, so bear with me if you've heard this before. Decisions I would make in terms of costumes, characters, even the like red versus gold roster, like who's on which team. I just kind of base it on like what felt right to me or what I wanted to do. If there was a forum where I could go and see people's reactions from solicitations or when the books came out, I think I know I would definitely be concerned. But it would have swung the pendulum and decisions might not have happened the way they happened. Right? So, and I like to remind myself I did okay, just kind of working off my own sort of gut instinct. So I would sort of counsel like new artists, like people want that feedback for the work they do, but can't be a slave to it. You cannot compromise your point of view creatively based on what. And I know people have changed their minds on creative directions of stories because of internet backlash or pre-lash before the book comes out. It's just dangerous to me, but I understand it's generational. In the future, everything will be crowdsourced in real time. So like every artist will be drawing in front of an audience as they're working on the book. With every line, you guys register up or down, whether you liked it or not. Hey, I'm Tane One. And then if you didn't like it, I'd have to erase it. What did I say? Blue versus gold? What did I say? Blue versus yellow? Blue versus proper artist. Oh God, no. Oh yeah, it's happening. I know it. The future. LOL. Let's switch topics. Let's talk about the future. My worst nightmare is that my kids are going to end up like my my previous ancestors, right? So like the story goes on my wife's side that her either her grandfather or great grandfather, I don't know, it was a kid that was adopted. He was like Russia. He fled during like the political turmoil as a little kid. Um, Russia was in revolution. They fled and they basically had to emigrate from Russia into Germany, and there's all sorts of hardship as they. And now even my parents fled North Korea or the northern parts of Korea right after World War II. Uh, they smuggled themselves south into South Korea, and then they grew up as teenagers during the Korean War, right? So that's kind of like my ultimate fear for my kids. But then I'm like, my parents and relatives went through it and everything was fine. So that's the only thing that, not everything's fine, but it's the grand story, the grand tapestry of life, I guess. It's just funny that my ultimate wish for my kids is that they are basically hibernated or they are protected from any sort of cataclysmic historic change, and they're basically sitting in their suburban pods of safety for the rest of their lives. That's horrible, right? So I'm not even sure what I'm wishing for because that would suck too. And I think that's ultimately why all these like survival shows or like Walking Dead are so popular. Aside from the gore and the good acting and the good writing, is that like whether it's us or our kids, like such a different thing than what we grew up with. Kind of having to fend for your survival. Oof. What's going on? What are you guys talking about? Yeah. Oh, we got a raid here. Jimmy Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it. It's always good to see another group. Hello, Jimmy Fantastic. Hello. Hello, Jimmy Fantastic. Are you from Germany by chance? It's kind of an unusual name for a German, though. I live in Germany from England. I because hello with the A is a very Germanic way of spelling. Hello, hello. Sprichst du ein bisschen Deutsch? I don't even know why. Ja, ja. Woher bist du? No, woher kommst du? Any excuse for German to speak German. Natürlich. Yeah, I think that's really, there's really, es gibt keine Gelegenheit, Deutsch in Deutschland zu benutzen, weil die Deutschen keine Lust Deutsch mit einem Ausländer sprechen will. Hello is a mood? Okay, sure. What's going on? Bayern. Bayern München. What kind of stream did you just have, Jimmy? Jimmy Fantastic. Excuse my ignorance. Happens. KB Brashaw speaks a little German, but I hate spelling it. Can I help Jackie complete a jump puzzle? Because he threatened to delete me from his. Wow, he's. That's horrible. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. That's the funniest. He's like raging. I guess it's like a game within Fortnite. Jimmy Fantastic's only drawn 12 thing in his life. It's just a jump puzzle. Yeah, he just doesn't have the hand-eye coordination. He showed it to me. Looked pretty fun. Mouthy Merc, thank you for the resub. Plans for Mother's Day? I already did my Mother's Day with the family. Hello, Jedi B311. Oh, crap. You know what? I was supposed to order some food as well, but I don't see the phone. Hold on 1 second again. All right, very quickly. I will read chat and put this order in. I'm gonna get some sushi. Place. It's not open yet. 1 more minute. Talk about ourselves, no sushi. That is correct. I don't think I've ever spent 3 days or 3 sessions working on a cover before. It's unusual. This is a oversized piece of paper, so I think that's part of it. And this also has just a lot of detail on it. So anyway, PK Mason said that he can barely do it, or he can't even do it. He spent like 2 hours trying to solve that puzzle thing. Because I told him like, you help Jackie, and he claimed ignorance that he couldn't do it. I know how brothers are. What the heck? It says they open at 5. Still not open. All right, I have to wait a little bit longer. Sounds like a fat lie. I'm gonna tell Mason. Text Mason Bacon. Hey, if you don't help Jackie get through that maze, I'm gonna have to come in and lay the hammer down and end your gaming night.
Here's your message. Okay, it's sent.
Text Mason Bacon. You can do it. I know you can. Be the one.
Here's your message. Okay, it's sent.
There we go. We'll see what happens. Angry Panda 888. Thank you for the bits. M Omochi without the eh. Hey Jim, I just want to let you know you're one of the biggest inspirations in me doing artwork. Ironically, I've been drawing for about as long as I've subbed to you. That's great. 12 months worth of art. Yeah, I know Alex. Yeah, Alex is a good guy. Supremely talented. Definitely, he's a guy that definitely knows what he likes. Had the good fortune of doing, I think we did two pieces together. I can't remember. Two, three? I think it was two. The Batman Superman one came out really nice. And then we did one with more characters. Um, I had to compose that cover a certain way to not sort of spill the surprise of who died. So it was not my favorite cover, but yeah, the guy's yeah, guy creates spectacular imagery. Marvels is an amazing work. I loved how, especially the X Men looked. So PK is Mason helping him out or not? Spoilers. Spoilers about what? It's been solved. I knew it. We got time. Don't worry, I will definitely not be streaming while Game of Thrones is on. In fact, I'll be watching it. But yeah, we took my wife, her mom, my dad, all the kids that are in town. We took them to a place, Toscano. I think it's out near Pasadena, Flint Ridge. It's east of us, about 20 minutes. They have a nice rose garden. They had like a buffet brunch in the rose garden, and then we walked around. They had like a little choo choo train for kids that we rode. Um, yeah, it's just good hang. And then we came back here, gave out the Mother's Day gifts, and then I went to my mom's house and rehooked up her ring onto her Wi-Fi. That was a hassle. Temperamental little beast. Um, I'm talking about the ring, and yeah, I finally got it working. Hopefully, it stays connected to the Wi-Fi. Hello, Roy Betty. Enjoy it while it lasts. I will not be streaming next weekend or the following weekend, unless I'm streaming from my business trip. Let me just see if that restaurant's open now. Mason said, "I did it. See, not so hard." Thanks. All right. Still says it's closed. Hmm. 1 second. It says it's open. I'll have to text my wife. All right. It says it's open. Can't. All right. Proper artist. You're welcome, man. My pleasure. I do know that there are other artists that are looking into it. There's actually a very, I'm not going to ruin it for him. I'll leave it as a surprise, but another pretty prominent artist that I think you guys really dig. He had sent me a message the other day asking, like, what kind of equipment you need to do this. And I told him, look, I'll just videotape it and send it to you, like the whole setup, because I don't think you could even properly. I could, yeah, could not even properly describe how long. Even setting up OBS, the green screen, where all the lights and stuff are. A lot of this was trial and error. I bought like 3 different microphones, different cameras, different lights, pedestals, uh, 2 different kinds of green screens, video cards. It was a time and money investment for sure at the beginning. And I know that there's still even more to be invested in if I were to kind of spruce up the production values and actually have a real intro and motion graphics and whatever else I decided, want to, if I were to punch this up, and there are ways to do it. Sure, why not? Oh no, Mark will never stream. We have to send people to his house to scan artwork. He's not gonna. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna reveal who it is. I don't want to spoil it for them and then have people like quiz them when they're gonna do it, and they might ultimately say, you know what, that's a lot of money to invest in a handful of viewers. I think on the usual Sunday streams, I get about 1,200 currents, but then the total number of unique visitors is somewhere in the 6,000 range. So that's not bad. That's like, I don't know how many people fill up Hall H anymore. Is it 5,000 or 10,000? That's a lot of people. So I think it's worth it from that standpoint. Would anyone be interested in seeing a stream of someone tattooing? I think at this point there isn't anything that's off limits, right? Tattooing seems fairly well within the realm of things that you could stream. Especially if you put a camera right up to the person's face who's getting tattooed and you saw like the agony, the 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 grimacing. Or first time tattooer. Like if someone had me a tattoo gun and I found somebody that was saying, "Go ahead, tattoo whatever," like that would be kind of amusing and painful. But oh crap, I screwed up that nose. Um, shall we make this the elongated man? I've seen, tattoo artists are essentially tracing or looking at other existing pieces of art and sort of replicating it or adding their own kind of like they're either people that replicate exactly or they're like inkers and they kind of add their own style to it. So there are people that can better tattoo my art onto someone than I could ink or tattoos my art onto someone. Let that sink in for a second. No. No Charlie Parks. My wife is not pissed. That's the age she is. Thank you, Spoon Shoe. Appreciate it. Check Postmates again. I think they're just not like they don't need the Postmates business sometimes because they also lose a cut of the business. So if they're, my guess is this place probably gets large orders for sushi because it's Game of Thrones night. There's no shame in getting older. Just more trips to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That is guaranteed. Beliasa says more trips to the bathroom confirmed. Crispy egg roll is back. How now, crispy egg roll? Kind of bummed that that phrase has fallen out of favor. Was it how now, brown cow? And then, of course, in many Shakespearean plays, how now, how now? Yeah, I would probably like, yeah, exactly, cardiac sumo one. I would get like tissue paper filled with ink and to go, okay, I'm going to smear this now on your arm, your forearm. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a star field all across the side of your face. Sorry. Oof, oof, all my sayings are falling out. Hey, son, I would just say these are not sayings. This is called English. All my sayings. How now is from like the 1400s, maybe even earlier. I can't wait for a superhero seminar to hit like 40 years old. But then that time period, people will be living on Mars. right? Is that the plan? I'm ready to go. Oh no, brown cow. Yeah, bring it back, superhero smart. From now on, we're gonna be like, that's our saying. How now? On the Stern Show, they've got hey now. We're gonna go how now. Spend GG. I believe I am doing a panel. If I could be honest, I don't. I'm not too involved in the planning of any of these shows. I agree to go, and I hope that they have markers and people that will help me sign, and that they have Elmo so I can draw in front of an audience. But sometimes they don't, and so you have to kind of you want to have to be prepared for any content, especially if it's a show I haven't done in a long time, like Motor City. I haven't done that. Last time I did that show, I think was in the early 2000s, maybe even in the 20th century. 20th century. I can't remember when I went. Yeah. I'm just adjusting gray values now. The idea is it gets darker and more gray the deeper you get into this area here. Even stuff I don't even know what it is, I just go, oh, I'll make it into something. Give it a little three dimensionality. Because of the time that's passed, I don't even know what some of this stuff is. That's actually a thing you'll hear Inker say a lot of times, because sometimes the pencils come in and they're not super clear. And their motto is, okay, well, at least make it look like something. Just don't put a line down and not know what it is. Make it look at least three dimensional. Apply some lighting. All right. Kuyamu has reset for 19 months. Thanks for everything. I appreciate it. Thank you. Dan of Earth has resub for the past 8 months. Are you asking me, proper artist, how did I enjoy Endgame? I did not uh, shed a tear. I thought it was well done and moving, but I did not. I think I was so intent on studying its structure and the way they were handling um, an astrophysical phenomenon, which I will not describe because I don't want to have any spoilers. But I was like deeply thinking about story structure, things that they were doing, not doing, implications of such. I was working. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about when something happens, how are they going to tie up this thing? Uh, yeah, why they had this character not survive, spoiler, versus another. Good movie though. I enjoyed it. Super spectacular. Gotta remind myself to I gotta ink in that or white out this buckle here. Right there. Okay. M. Jalam 2 has reset for 19 months. I did hear about Fat Buddha being flooded. It was a bummer. I'm friends with Cliff, so don't know what that means going forward. If it will be reopened in time for New York Comic Con, I presume it will. It's a fun bar, great food. Hello, sold out show. I'm using a Sony HD Handycam. Joe Lama. All right, I'm going to be finishing up in 15 minutes. I got to give a little time so we can all run to. Plus, I would still like to raid. I don't think Kirihiko's here, so Crispy, if you want to do the honors and find someone we can raid afterwards, for the people that aren't into Game of Thrones, want to check out another creative, we usually like to have a little fun at the end and find someone to bring our viewers and check out some new art that you might not have ever seen before. Superhero Swimmer art. I hope so. I hope so, young man. Yeah, you're not going to see me work on that spawn image on stream, and I can't explain why, but when the time comes, I will share with you why. Okay. So yeah, Queen City Amusements. Battery gonna die. I'll switch to his phone. Were you on your laptop? Jordinsky 2017. Old guy who just got into drawing. Love seeing the joy of drawing still in you. Welcome in. Someone said I was gonna put like little flowers. I haven't yet. I have definitely been putting mold. Queen City Amusements, thank you for cheering. 3,271 bits. Much appreciated. Alcatraz as sub. Thank you very much, Alcatraz. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. All right. Problem with putting a flower is it'll really stand out, which means I'd have to put a bunch of flowers, but then they would stand out color wise. don't know. Okay. So see with a lot of these kind of thorns or things that are jutting, I'm doing a core shadow. I'm not putting the shadow all the way to the right like I did over here. These are too thin to do a core shadow. The core shadow means that it's light on like 2/3 of it, the core shadow, and then the final third is kind of lit, as in not as in there's a party and it's cool, but lit by light reflecting off the ground. Oh, I'm doing this again. Ha ha ha. Um, hey Zombie Geef, how are you doing? What did Crispy put? Stock futures are plunging tomorrow. Might not want to look at your 401ks tomorrow with deadline anchor. Sure, I hear what you're saying. I'm drawing a picture, dark arrow. Yeah, you were like, Clayton was like, yeah, I know what, I finally understand something you're saying. It is lit. It is hella lit. For reals. Stop. I will stop. Deadline anchor. He's short in the market. Does anyone here know what he's saying? Anyone? When you short the market, you're betting the stocks will go down. You have to find other people that bet against you. But hedge funds short the market all the time. Duck helmet. This is larger than 11 by 17. This is 11 by 17 paper right here. So you can kind of see it's about 1.5 the width and about 120, like 120% as tall. Quite a lot. Hello, Scully 13313. All right. Thank you, Rob Zombik. Appreciate it. Action Detective 11. This will end at 5:45. We'll go raid someone, and then I'm going to skedaddle downstairs. Skedaddle means to move quickly with purpose. Superhero swimmer art. And I'm going to watch Game of Thrones while trying to order sushi from a place that's not taking orders. Uh, uh, uh. Switch to a 0.5 marker. On paper this large, some of these lines are gonna turn to like really fine bits of scratch. So it can support a thicker line for sure. Oh, this is armor up here. Forgot to ink it properly. The brush, so I'll have to do it by hand manually. And the same up here too. Oof. All right, let's just do this. Let's just suggest it. Okay, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I think I've covered everything. Beefing up some of these lines up here. They can pop a little bit more. So they're not so fine and thin. $5.43. $5.44. I want to thank our mods, Crispy Egg Roll, An Elephant, our unofficial mod, PK, for being here. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in on this short notice. It's been fun doing this with you. I'm going to sign this. And maybe here. Yeah, let's do it right here. But we're not done yet. We're going to go raid someone, and I'm going to put a little bit of white out. What happened to the whiteout pen I had a second ago? One second. That is a very good question. Oh, there it is. Just a little splatter to kind of give it some texture down here at the bottom. Hopefully you guys can see it when I put it in there, but if not, I think I need to tape this up. Hold on. Now you can see it, the bottom there? Yeah. It's just mostly in the bottom here, kind of swamp grit. Crispy, if you want to send me where we're going to go raid in the mods only channel, I will copy and paste it. If not, that's cool too, I guess. Ah, the strap. Let's fix that strap up. And this dark line here makes no sense. So let me, or that dark space. So let me fix that. Let me do that. Little negative on positive, or is it negative on, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm drawing into the blacks. And I think I'm done. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you like probably in 2 weeks or so. All right. Thank you, Echo Sith and Core, for the sub. I'm going to find, let's see if Crispy found somebody. Everyone's logging off for Game of Thrones. Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you, guys, and I will catch you when I catch you, hopefully very soon. Look for this. I'll post it up later tonight on Instagram and also in the channel. All right, take care, guys.